Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anu Joshi and I'm a real estate broker serving Toronto and the GTA. I'm also the founder of Anuvision Group. On today's video, I'm going to be going through the 2023 market outlook and 2022 year in review. I did a summary video that went over this whole book and the whole report, just the highlights of it. But this one is going to be the 2022 highlights, a year in review, in slightly more detail for those of you that are interested. I'll link my summary video down below as well if you just want to get the highlights, but if you're ready for a deep dive into what happened in 2022 in the real estate market, stay tuned. First off, I'd like to share the number of sales that happened in each housing category. We look at detached, semi-detached, townhomes, and condo apartments. And so I'll break it down for you and share with you the number of sales that happened as well as the average prices that we hit in 2022. For detached sales, we had 33,568 sales, and the average price of a detached home in 2022 was $1.545 million. For semi-detached sales, we had 6,896 sales, and the average price of a semi-detached home was $1.182 million. For townhouses, we had 12,654 sales, and the average price was $990,000. And last but not least, for condo apartment sales, we had 21,323 sales with the average price of $758,000. Now, if you look at it in terms of the volume of sales, in 2022, we had the most detached sold, which is 33,000. Then we had condominium apartment sales at 21,000, followed by townhouse sales at 12,000, and lagging last but not least was semi-detached sales at just under 7,000. A couple of other statistics that I want to share with you about 2022 are new listings. In 2022, we saw 152,000 new listings in 2022. So that's all of the year, all of the homes that were listed. Interestingly, it was an 8.2% decrease from 2021. So we had more listings in 2021, less in 2022. In terms of the total sales of 2022, we had 75,140 sales, which was a 38.2% decrease from 2021. So in 2021, there were about 121,000 sales, whereas in 2022, there were only 75,000 sales. Now, I don't have the exact breakdown for you, but we have something called a tale of two halves. You know that in 2022, at the beginning of the year, especially Q1, sort of before the spring market or early spring market, and even Jan, Feb, sort of onwards, we had a lot of sales. We had a lot of activity spilling over from the crazy activity that we had in 2021, right? All of 2021 was fairly strong. We went through a very, very strong fall market in 2021, and that spilled over into crazy sales happening in Jan or Feb of 2022. So we had that spill over, which some people were calling an early spring market, but honestly, I was in the market every day, and it was as if the sales didn't even stop, right? From fall market 2021 carrying right on over into 2022. And we saw super active January and February. And if you were in the market every day at that time, every week made a difference. And without having the stats in front of me, I can still share with you from what I remember. The first week of March, we started to see a decline. And there were a couple of factors that contributed to that. We saw that decline continue through March, through April, through May, through June, and that late spring market and all throughout summer, we had a very, very quiet market, both in terms of number of sales and volume of sales. We were seeing basically year over year decreases, sometimes even month over month decreases. There really wasn't much activity happening, and there were many factors that contributed to this. One was the interest rates, which started going up for the first time. Bank of Canada raised their interest rates starting in March of 2022, which, a lot of people were expecting it because inflation was getting out of control, and so that was expected to come in. However, it did impact the market, the real estate market, in a way where it definitely impacted the volume of sales that were happening. People were sort of thinking about, okay, what are our next steps? And nobody knew, how far the Bank of Canada is going to go. I'm making this video in February of 2023, and as of right now, Bank of Canada is still raising interest rates. we might be at the end of that cycle. I'm not 100% sure. But here we are, still sort of in that rate tightening cycle. Well, they're raising the rates, but it's called a tightening cycle by the Bank of Canada. And so we are really feeling that sort of crunch. And that all started, as I mentioned, March onwards of 2022, and we've seen that go into this year. The average price in 2022, just for your reference, was $1.189 million, and this was actually up from 2021. It was an 8.6% increase. So in 2021, the average price was $1,095,000. Now this is all across the GTA, all home types, everything from detached to condo apartment. So in 2021, that number, the average sales price was $1,095,000, and in 2022, that number was $1.189 million, which was an 8.6% increase. 2022 was also impacted, as we discussed, from the Bank of Canada rate hikes. In total, there were 7 rate hikes, and they varied from 25 basis points, so 0.25%, to 50 basis points. I think we didn't have a 75 basis point increase, if I'm not wrong, but I don't have that in front of me, so I can't be quoted on that. But in total, we saw 7 rate hikes. We are still seeing them in 2023. I can't tell you if it's going to stop or not, but as of right now, in January, they did increase it again. We don't know if we're at the end of this rate tightening cycle. We're obviously seeing the impact, not just in the real estate industry, but in all industries across the board. We've seen, tech layoffs. We've seen supply chain issues continue. We have seen groceries and basic things like gas go up in price. And, a lot of it is due to inflation. Bank of Canada has to do what they have to do in order to bring inflation into control, but obviously the interest rate changes that they're making directly impact borrowing costs and lending costs in terms of mortgages, which relates highly to the real estate market that we have here. Now, I'll quickly also run through the sales in the GTA. Out of the total number of sales, which is about 75,000, how many happened in what region? Toronto, so the city of Toronto proper, saw 27,769 sales. Durham region saw just under 10,000 sales. Simcoe County saw about 2,300 sales. Peel region saw just over 14,000 sales. York region saw just under 13,000 sales. Dufferin County had 493 sales, and Halton region had about 7,600 sales. So that was sort of the breakdown. Obviously, a lot of it was concentrated in the city of Toronto with 27,769, followed by Peel region, which was the second highest number of sales that occurred, which was 14,000, followed closely by York region, which was 12,850 sales. So that was a quick overview on what happened in 2022, both in terms of the interest rate increase and the sales volumes and where the sales were happening and how much they were happening for, etc., etc. If you have any specific questions about your specific city or your specific market, or any questions related to buying or selling real estate in the GTA, feel free to reach out. I will put all of my contact details in the description box below so you can reach out to me. And if you thought this video was helpful and if you liked it, please hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button, because I do post brand new real estate videos every single week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.